Hope you're doing well. We are all here because we are trying to beat the market, make a buck, and make our future better. Isn't that's what we're trying to do, aren't we? I think we're all on the same page here. Let's talk about some stocks with what's going on here. So it is Tuesday. The market somewhat came back today. Make a long story short, I think everyone is up to par at this point. Over the weekend, DeepSeek came out with this whole, thing where, essentially DeepSeek was saying, hey, we can do this, AI storage, make it, chips, all that kind of stuff, all that in a bag of, in a big bag here. We can do it for half the price and half the time, and the market flipped out. Especially Nvidia. Nvidia flipped out. Now, with that, a lot of people came out and said, well, we don't think that's absolutely 100% true. We don't necessarily believe it. And two big analysts came out here and said, like, I'm not so sure that I would take the bait on this one right now. And that was Tom Lee and that was Dan Ives here, who, that I trust implicitly. That's a hard word for me. Implicit. You know what I'm trying to say. They were like, we're calling bull. Obviously they said, we need to be careful. There's always going to be an AI company that's coming out of nowhere and doing phenomenal. But this right now, it's got some red tape around it. So obviously take what you want from DeepSeek here. But listen, it made opportunity in the market. There's no doubt about it. It put opportunity at people's fingerprints, and that's why last night when I released that video, I was like, listen, these numbers, they may not stick around here, so really maybe take advantage of this. So with that, last week at the end of the week, Friday, Trump released that he came out with that whole press statement where he said we're going to put $500 billion in AI, and this market shot up. Then the DeepSeek situation, and now we're here on a Tuesday, 28th of January, and the market is teeter-tottering, trying to come back here. Some stocks did better than others today, but we're somewhat coming back here, and I think the market's going to come. I don't think the market's going to stay like this. I don't think it's going to be in one ear and out the other at this point. I really think that's what's happening here. So probably won't even be talking about it much longer. With that, Nvidia. Nvidia is releasing earnings next month. Around this time next month, on the 26th, they will be releasing their earnings here. Now, obviously, those earnings are going to be wrapping up Q4. Okay, and we're expecting them just to be more good quarterlies. I mean, there's no reason at this point why they should be bad, because there's a lot still going on with Nvidia. It's still right now, as of right now, and this is why it's so important to be careful with the news, with the whole DeepSeek thing, and why people are talking about, why I'm talking about it, because nothing has happened business-wise yet where other companies have dropped Nvidia, went to DeepSeek, did anything like that. Nvidia's still very much the king, still very much in charge and making all the money. Okay, so this is not a situation where people need to like run out of the room right now. Right now, it's a situation where Nvidia could stay here for a moment with fears. It could stay around this 120 position where it rebounded today, and it could play around a 118 to the 120s mid ground, but it's already back up almost to 130. And this is the comfort range where Nvidia, this is where fear always finds itself with Nvidia that we've seen. Nvidia, we've seen this before where it has these moments of fear, something happening, and it'll sell below 120, and then it'll shoot back up into this 130, 140 range. But I mean, listen, like I said last night, I think a lot of people were saying this, that was the time to buy. Okay, and there's still a situation to where all this could blow by. We don't even remember what just happened, and Nvidia can shoot up even more, especially going into February here with these new quarterlies. They've got their new chip, they're unraveling. And listen, the video game industry, I mean, is going insane right now, and that's where Nvidia is really pushing their chip too. So with that, I don't look at Nvidia right now as something like tossed to the side. I'm selling out of it, and I'm not coming back. That may be a little premature right now. Nvidia, even if they find themselves in a little bit of a bad way, Nvidia has so much money right now, so much money. They can afford to have a bad winter at the moment here. And there's no doubt that and this is the thing with competition. Competition is good. So with all this stuff with DeepSeek right now, I'm sure Nvidia is spending millions of dollars to find out how DeepSeek works. What is it really? Is it real? How do they beat it? And what do they need to do to accomplish this? Okay, I would imagine, okay, that is what Nvidia is doing. There's no doubt that Nvidia is just going like, well, you know, we're not going to worry about it. No, they are assassins, and they are putting their money into something that they're going to keep it going here. There's no way that Nvidia is just going to let somebody else take the reins at this point, with them making so much money and controlling the market here for the past few years, essentially, especially in 2024. So I don't want to talk about Nvidia too long, because everyone's talking about Nvidia. I don't think a lot of people want to hear me yap about Nvidia. Listen, Nvidia, that was a heck of a jump from last night to today, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Nvidia teeter-totter around this 120 to 140 range. Okay, we're only in Tuesday in the market, and we could definitely see Nvidia shape back up here into this high range here, if not more. We've got quarterlies coming here in just 3 weeks, so I know that Nvidia is going to start to trickle back up regardless, just off hype, FOMO, and just what could come down the pipeline here. And I wouldn't be surprised if Nvidia released a statement here soon addressing what is going on right now, because people are wanting that. Investors are wanting that. This DeepSeek situation caused such a ruckus in the market that I think you're going to see that. I think you're going to see companies coming out, especially Nvidia, because they were the biggest ones that got hit there, to where they're going to come out and they're going to address it. Jen here, he is well able and comfortable just coming out and talking. He does that all the time, their CEO. So I would not be shocked to see that whatsoever, and I hope he does. It would be fantastic for the stock. Absolutely. Okay, Tempest. So this is another thing I don't want to spend too much time on, because this is, there's like no good way to talk about this company right now, because there's people that are like, it's not making money, it's not making that much money. I know, I get it. There's just one big, purple elephant in the room right now, and it's Nancy. Nancy. Okay, so bullet points. So we're all on the same page here. I think we know, but if you're new to stocks, you're new to investing, and you've heard about Tempest or Nancy, this company right now is getting a whole lot of attention. Why is it getting a whole lot of attention? It's getting a whole lot of attention, for one, because it's wrapped up in AI, and it's wrapped up in the medical field and what it's doing. Two things working together as one here, Tempest AI. Okay, with that, I don't think people really can care what Tempest is. They can make dog food for all people care about right now. I'm just being honest. I think that's where people are at with it. The main thing that people are paying attention right now with Tempest here is because Nancy just put a ton of money in it. Now, why is that so important? That's so important because Nancy has one of the best track records when it comes to investing. Okay, if Nancy puts money in it, and she's betting for the stock, which she is, she knows something, okay? Now, what does Nancy know? I don't know. I think it's safe to say Nancy's not really in the pool of, the active administration right now, but she's still in some sources. She's got sources. Maybe Tempest has something coming down the pipeline with contracts, something that we don't know about yet. For a company that hasn't done well with earnings, still trying to get profitable, and Nancy just put a ton of money into it, which shot up the stock to almost $60, which almost doubled the stock with it being released to the public. We have found ourselves in a situation where people are just saying like, hey, I'm willing to take the risk, I'm willing to take the gamble, and I'm going to put X amount of money into Tempest here because Nancy has such a good track record. I'm willing just to bet that this is going to be another, I'm going to at least double, if not, get a 45% return on my investment here within 6 months. So is that going to happen? I don't know. This is a weird situation. It's a weird situation. But I mean, it's a situation too where Nancy was buying Nvidia a few years back before Nvidia really started to get into this chip business. When the chip thing really started to take off, before people were talking about chips and chips were making all the money in the world, Nancy was putting money into it. there's other situations too where Nancy's done this. Friends, I don't have the crystal ball. I don't know what Nancy knows. Now, Tempest at AI, is what they do special? Yeah. Is it a good company? Yeah, I mean, you can look at the fundamentals, what they're doing and who they are. It's all there. Is it worth $60 a share at the moment? No, it's hyped up. It's completely overpriced. Okay, that's okay to say. There's nothing rude with saying that. It's just what it is. But it's like that because what's happening here with Nancy. So could Tempest find could it find its way into, $70, $80? It very well could, just because of the hype could continue. It's interesting where the market's going to go here in February. Okay, it's interesting because, we just had this situation happen that crashed the market. March is coming. Obviously, we've got a month till March, and, Trump will be giving his State of the Union in March, and that will probably pump up the market, I would imagine, because Trump will be pumping up the market. We're still talking about rate cuts. We're still talking about they may happen, 2 at least may happen. More may happen because Trump wants more to happen. And they may happen sooner because Trump wants them to happen sooner. Listen, I can't guide people on this Tempest situation. It would be insane for me to say you need to buy Tempest. It's almost a betting situation. You're betting on Nancy, that Nancy knows something, that Nancy put just X amount of money in this because she knows this stock within this year and next year is going to do incredible numbers. How good of numbers? I don't know. But there's something Nancy knows here that we don't know all the news about, okay? And friends, then we have Palantir, sweet Palantir, who next week will be releasing their Q4 quarterlies, which we expect to be just as good, if not better, than the last quarterlies. Now, obviously, with Palantir being $80 a share right now, it's already priced in these quarterlies being good. And for this $70, $80 position to hold, they need to knock out these quarterlies, okay? And a lot of us think they're going to do it, okay? A lot of people. I mean, there's plenty of people, on YouTube that think that, Palantir is going to $1,000 a share here within the next, handful of years. If they keep at this rate, there's no reason why they couldn't, okay? They're leading the charge in what they do with AI. They're making a ton of money. They're right in the middle of government contracts. They're right in the pocket of the new administration. And they've got just a banging, amazing product, CEO, and they're becoming a household name to general investors. Okay, there's not too many people that aren't investing in Palantir at this point. It's hard to find people that aren't believing with what they're selling to you as an investor. Okay, they keep blowing expectations. They keep bringing out amazing numbers. When Palantir was at $50, there's people. Listen. I'm not one to come on here and cry about comments and stuff. I don't care when people leave rude comments, but I do see when people are hurt and they leave comments saying like, I remember people like, Palantir is not going to $40. It's not going to $50. It's not going to $60. You're leading people down the wrong road. You should be ashamed of yourself. You need to stop doing what you're doing. We're going to be in a situation here where Palantir is going to $100 here before we know it. Palantir, even if it just meets expectations here with these quarterlies, Palantir could still find itself in a bunch of hype, in a situation where people are still going to eat it up. They're still going to buy it. This isn't a situation of Palantir's going to have a bad quarterly or an okay quarterly, and it's going to sell down to $40. Palantir is going to hit these quarterlies, and it's going to keep this $60 to $80 range, undoubtedly. 70 on a bad day. More than likely, we're going to find ourselves with Palantir doing great on these quarterlies, and then Palantir is going to start chipping away at $90. It's going to start chipping away here at a triple-digit number. We're coming for that 100, okay? There's people that have been in the market a lot longer than a lot of us. Analysts, where they've seen things like this, and they know the progression of what's going on here. When you have a company that is making as much money, Palantir is killing it with these government contract deals right now, 100%. So, friends, listen, I've spoke so much on Palantir. If you've listened to me talk here, I'm drinking the juice on Palantir, okay? I've been here defending Palantir since it was $12, okay? And why I've been so confident and positive on Palantir is because Palantir was one of the few companies that you could find on the market that was bringing unbelievable numbers, unbelievable quarters, deals. They have a CEO who's willing to talk and pump up their company. That's so important. That's so important. I can't describe you how that's so important. Where I've seen so many companies that were good, but they just don't have a CEO that really talks. That's like something with SoundHound. You know, I love my SoundHound, but I wish SoundHound had more of a outspoken CEO. Sadly, they don't. There's been far interviews with their CEO. He gives interviews, but they're only on paper, and they're not in video. They're not in person. That sucks. That really sucks, because the company could strive so much more if they had a CEO who would just come out and talk. Pump up their company. Talk about them. Get investors hyped up, excited. Make them fight, want something. Investors want to be a part of something unique, sexy, dangerous. It's God's honest truth. So friends, I say to you, we are in the golden age of changing your life around. Find stocks, find investments that you like. Tempest, let me know what you think. Nvidia, it's a solid play. Still, we have all the evidence to prove that. Pltr, that's going to change people's lives in a handful of years. If you continue to buy and you continue to hold, undoubtedly, it's going to change people's lives. Friends, I will talk to you soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.